Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
What's up, Jake?
How's it going, guys?
Going
good,
man.
Here.
Thanks for jumping on the podcast. I'm excited about this.
Me too.
Fantastic. Okay, so I know we were talking a little bit before we hit record, and I just want to say I'm excited about this because you're someone who's a lot closer to our age, and this is really, I want the podcast to be a way for us to, get to know business owners in Escambia County, and also a platform for younger professionals like us to be able to meet each other, to know kind of what's going on in Escambia County, and to just give you a platform.
Absolutely.
Shine the spotlight on you just a little bit. So I'm stoked about this, and I think really what I want to do is just kind of hear about your college experience, what brought you to Pensacola, what you're doing now, and just kind of get your story from you.
Sure.
So
awesome. It's all about who you know. So
yeah,
the more
that's
people
exactly
we know,
right.
the better.
Correct.
Yep.
So
right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
That was
no,
a poor
you're good.
transition,
You're
but go
good.
ahead.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So we'll start with the college thing. I came down here to Pensacola Christian College, as you did as well.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister went here. That's kind of what brought me to the area originally. I was able to visit quite a few times while she was down here. We would come to visit her. The beach happened to be here as well. Yeah, so that was always nice.
Yeah.
But so we would come down and visit her, and I love the campus, love the people, and that's what brought me down here.
Come down from where? Where are you
from? Ohio. I'm from
Okay.
Mansfield, Ohio originally. It's a small town between Cincinnati and Cleveland. So
Okay.
right in the middle
Gotcha.
of Ohio. I say Mansfield, no one. I get blank.
You
so
have
I
to
always
reference
I
to a bigger
explain.
city. Yep.
I explained. So, I think you guys did the same thing with St. Louis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually from Southern Illinois. It's close to the St. Louis border. It's about 20 minutes
right
from
on the
St. Louis.
river.
The same thing
Yep.
every
Same.
single time. But
Yep.
it's way easier to just say,
Yeah.
I'm from
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis.
Then the lights come on.
Yeah.
Yep. Easier.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
okay,
I came down
from
from Ohio, and obviously there are reasons to stay in Florida when you live in Ohio originally.
Correct.
The weather, and I don't like the heat too much.
Yeah.
I can take it, but when it gets to right now, like this time of the year, it's beautiful. It's
Hoodie
perfect.
weather.
I
Yep.
love it.
It's just cool
It's
enough
so nice.
outside. I told you need to be talking into the mic, and I'm here 5 feet away from it.
I
There
know,
we go. That's
I'm
much
gonna
better.
have to get used to it.
and that's fine. If I notice anything, I'll tell you to come a little closer. But
Gotcha.
with it being hoodie weather now, it's so much more enjoyable because I feel
I'm
like
breaking them out.
yeah, July, August, September are so uncomfortably warm, and that's when you first got down here. So now you'll get to experience a little bit of the cooler side of Pensacola.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah, I haven't experienced like early summer yet, so I've heard that's a lot more humid. But like St. Louis, the day we moved down, it was 5 degrees hotter in St. Louis and a lot more humid. So
yeah,
end of I guess it was early September when we moved down. It was
Gotcha.
pretty nice down here.
yeah, it gets pretty uncomfortable up there too.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
anywhere
pros
you
and
are.
cons.
Yeah, pros and cons.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, sorry
Absolutely.
not to cut you off.
No,
talking
you're
about
good.
The
You're
weather.
good.
Of
No,
all
that was
things.
me that took that rabbit trail.
Yeah.
So I got down here for college. I started as sports management actually because I wanted to coach when I graduated, and the more I was in my classes, I was thinking, what are these classes doing for me? What am I learning that's going to apply to me coaching? And then I thought,
good.
I think that's important for everyone to do is what is this leading me toward?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what guided me to marketing. I switched from sports management to marketing because I thought I can coach with any degree. I can coach with
Fair enough.
a basket weaving degree. I know
Yeah.
everybody uses that one.
Yeah,
that's
basket
the
weaving.
great
But sorry for any basket weavers out
ever
there.
a basket weaving
I don't
degree
think so.
ever?
I don't think so. But yeah, so I thought, I could make myself more marketable with a marketing degree and then have coaching to do as well after I graduate.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I ended up today. I took Lonnie Smith. I think you took professional selling with
Yes.
Lonnie Smith. And I loved it. It was the best class I had in my entire college career. And that's what got me where I am today.
Okay.
And, gave me a passion for sales, I guess.
Okay. Before we go down that road then for the sales, did you have any sport in particular that you wanted to coach? What's your bread and butter?
Soccer. Soccer's my sport.
Okay.
I played everything growing up. When you're a kid, you don't think I'm going to be a soccer player and I'm going to practice year round for soccer.
Yeah.
You just you kick
just
a ball,
do
you
whatever
throw a
is-
ball, you
yeah,
do
you
whatever's in
play.
front of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
My dad wanted me to play baseball, and when I started making the switch to soccer, I could see that he was a little disappointed, but I finally ripped the Band-Aid off. I was like, Dad, I don't want to play baseball.
So
and
sad.
then he got into soccer more, and he loves it now. So,
good. Okay.
That's awesome.
So I kind of converted him a little bit, if you want to think of it that way.
Oh, man.
But yeah, soccer's definitely my sport.
Okay.
I played for 4 years in college.
That's right. And you guys were state champs, right? Or
National champs.
National
Yeah.
champs.
Very
Wow.
nice.
For our league,
Yeah.
It was the NCCAA. So
Okay.
NCAA is definitely, I would say, higher competition. There's still good schools in the NCCAA.
Yes.
But for our level of competition and recruiting that we can do for our school, it's fairly competitive.
yeah.
So
Exceptional.
it was fun.
I remember the amount of school pride when you guys were national champs. It was I go to PCC. It was exciting.
An all-time high.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's it really was an all-time high, because I don't think there was any other times that I was really that excited about it.
Yep.
So that was cool. I remember when that happened, when you guys took it. It was really, that's a cool.
And which year was that? Because we won it twice actually while I was in school.
Okay,
Not that the year really matters.
No, you graduated. I think you were a year ahead of me.
Okay.
So I think it was my freshman year.
Okay, that would have been my sophomore year then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was that the first time you guys?
Yep, that was our
Okay.
first
And you
one,
did
and
it
then
again
we
the next year.
won my senior year, which was last.
Very nice.
Oh wow!
Okay.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Congrats.
It was a
Wow.
lot of fun.
Man, we got a champion sitting at the
Wow.
table.
Yeah.
I had to say it. So okay, so that's school, and that's what got you into marketing. And I will
Yes.
just say, Lonnie Smith, I loved him as a teacher.
Mhm.
He was he was pretty dry, but I really felt like I understood what he was talking about. And he
Right.
was super. I connected with him because he was very sarcastic, and I
yeah,
had a couple
dry,
debates with him in
sarcastic
class.
humor,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So
Man,
I
feel
really
like
Shout
teachers
out to
make
Lonnie.
or break
Yeah.
your experience, like in your
100%.
class.
Yeah, and some people,
interest level.
I'm sure, don't enjoy him so much, but I really
I've heard
enjoyed
so
that
many
class.
people
Yeah.
that are like, why did
I didn't want to.
why does he do that?
Yeah, I actually would like to get him on the podcast eventually.
awesome.
So I don't want to be like, yeah, everyone hates Lonnie Smith, but I liked him. In case he goes back and listens. I'm teasing. But so having said that, you switched to marketing, which I think that's a good switch. I think a lot of people need to think a little more critically about where they're at in the moment. You know, you
Right.
made a decision. You thought, well, I want to be a coach, so let's do sports management, and then you got into that and realized, well, maybe I can do something else and add on to it and still achieve the same end result.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that new path that you switch to, you're like, well, actually, I enjoy this a little bit more. Now, having said that, do you think you'll ever move into coaching at all, or do you think sales is a little more your
I've thought about it, and somebody actually asked me right before COVID happened. I was gonna help coach a like a kind of a little kids team. It's my college coach's son. He coaches the team.
Okay.
And he wanted me to help him out because it's hard to wrangle in all
yeah.
the little kids running around. So that's more of like a babysitting job than
Yeah.
necessarily
but
teaching
good experience,
sports.
I'm sure.
But when I was
Yeah.
younger, I had some really good coaches at that age, and it set a really good foundation for me
Yeah,
moving
I'm sure it
forward.
did.
And I
Yeah.
wanted to be that for
Mhm.
the kids. But
Fair
then
enough.
they shut down the league because of COVID,
Mhm.
and I just never, got that first taste of coaching. So I think I could definitely see myself coaching in the future, just because, I've done it my whole life. I played through college. Why stop using
that's
this thing
true.
that I've
Yeah.
learned
Yeah,
in
you've
my
got
life?
experience.
That's true.
You
It's a
wanna use
skill
it.
that you've put hours and hours and
That's
hours
right.
into,
Yep.
and you can, like you said, be that help to someone else. I know,
Exactly.
I had several coaches in high school, and actually Danny was a coach for
2 years.
our old high school team for 2 years.
Gotcha.
And I looked up to my coaches a lot, and there was a couple that were very, very skilled soccer players, and you respect them as a soccer player, and you respect them as who they are. If they're a godly person and somebody who you actually can look up to their life.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
a
good
cool
role
thing
models.
for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, we'll keep an eye out and see if eventually you
That's right.
switch to coaching. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having multiple options. That's
No.
a good thing. It's a
Right.
really good thing.
Right.
So, and that can potentially pop up as a ministry too. You may just have an option to do that in addition to whatever else you're doing. And
Right.
it's good to have.
Because
those options.
most practices for any kind of team is in the afternoon, later after work hours, just
yep.
because it's a
After
real,
school hours.
it's a real
Mhm.
problem for everybody to
Yeah.
to get over there. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what
Cool.
happens.
Well, I hope that does work out for you at some point.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
So having said that, for those who don't know, where are you working now then?
I am working for a company called ADP. That, not to be confused by ADT, the security company. That's I get that all the time on the phone. It stands for Automatic Data Processing. So we used to be only payroll, but now, that was about 70 years ago when they first started, and now we do payroll, HR, benefits administration, retirement, anything from an administrative side that you can think of.
Wow.
We do it all right in one place, and we've really grown a lot as a company since the start. I say that like I've been with them since 70 years ago.
How long have you been with them?
I have been with them about 5 months now,
Okay.
so I'm fairly fresh, fairly new, but it's been a fun ride. So far.
I feel like the 5 month mark, 5 to 6 months is where you really, we talk about that often. You reach a point in every job where you kind of hit the top of a hill and you realize, I'm comfortable doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing this for just enough time where I don't have to ask simple questions anymore. You don't feel quite so like the new guy. I'm sure there's some newer people for you to slap around and tease a little bit. So I feel like 5 to 6 months in any job is where it really starts getting a little more fun. You can enjoy the job a little more.
I would 100% agree with that. I feel like, I don't want to say I'm hitting my stride yet, because I still feel like there's a lot of things that I can do better and stuff like that.
But there always will be.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So,
well, that's true.
I don't think that's a saying, but I just said it.
It
so
is now, and I like it.
Yeah,
Jake,
I liked it.
put that on a T-shirt.
I'll make a quote on Instagram.
Right.
We'll let you
Right.
get better
because
you're
nobody
getting
knows
worse.
where it came from.
Yeah, right. I'll take that. But yeah, so I feel like I'm getting comfortable, like you said. I don't have to ask about everything. If I'm submitting an order or doing something on the back end, I find myself clicking through everything, and I'm like, oh wow, I just finished that thing that took me 3 hours, 2 months ago.
Same goes for me, man.
I'm sure that's
and
how
it
you
will
are.
hit that for him too.
Yeah,
And it's
eventually.
starting to be that way. It's
Right.
like even writing a contract. Okay, it's 13 pages of fill in the blank definitions and stuff. And it used to take me. If I was at a showing, I would tell my buyer, okay, give me this evening, and I'll send you the contract late tonight. You can sign it, and I'll submit it as soon as I wake up tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And now it's like, give me an hour, and I can have it submitted to the listing agent.
Right.
You just go and just click through everything.
That's awesome.
You know exactly what's going on, and it's like I said, that's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling, and also it helps you. You have more time, and you can produce more, and
exactly
make more money potentially.
Yep.
So that's cool. You automate payroll, HR, and different stuff. You guys you handle that for the business owner. Tell me a little bit about.
Yeah,
what
so
you do.
I should have said this already, but I'm in outside sales, so I'm working with business owners in the area.
Okay.
While they don't limit us to just my territory, I have my territory in Pensacola that's protected. My opportunities are protected and stuff like that. So I do love that.
Cool.
But you can, I have people that I know back from Ohio. I've worked with some of them, switching them over to our company, and it's been a fun process being able to. There's the P thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, I was just wondering how we can maybe move it just a little bit to your right. Just a tad. Yeah,
There
I think
we
that'd
go.
be a little bit better.
Okay.
And then
That's good. It's not really peaking either.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
So
So you moved a couple people in Ohio.
In Ohio, just business owners that I knew, and I knew we could help them out. So, I have a lot of clients that were given to me when I first joined.
Cool.
And then I have my clients that I've signed on. Those ones are a little easier to work with because I have the relationship.
Yeah.
Rather than being grandfathered into them.
Exactly, because the first call, you just want to see what's going on with them, see if everything's going good, and if everything is going good, that's awesome. But if that's all they say, and then they would just want to get off the phone, it's like
yeah, there's not
but
really
wait,
a good transition.
yeah,
I have a reason for
hey,
calling.
Also, in addition to me introducing myself and giving you my contact information, here's what we have going on now. You don't want to try to sell them on the first call, or nobody likes to feel sold. I don't like to feel sold.
No.
So it's hard with those people, but as I'm growing my client base, my own client base, it's a lot of fun to work with them.
Yeah, it really definitely is. When you have that relationship, it makes it so much simpler. But
it makes it more genuine.
That's true.
You're not a stranger coming at them with a product. You're someone who has a service that would likely be of help to them.
Yeah,
and you want to present it to them in an
this would be a
appropriate
good
way.
fit for
Exactly.
like those people in Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's cool. That's a good place to be too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure you run into the same thing that I ran into. I'm not locally from Pensacola. I moved here for school.
Yeah.
So
whole new atmosphere.
Whole new atmosphere, just geographic wise, as well as having to build my no network here, except for the people that I go out and meet. You know,
exactly.
So,
and I've had a few people say, "Where do you live?" And I tell them, "Oh, Ferry Pass," and they're like, "That's by this and this and this," and I'm like, Is it? Yeah. I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
So that's been an adventure too.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as what we actually do for business owners, we do payroll and HR and all the administrative stuff that I was talking about. But basically, the advantage of it is everything in one place. You don't have to contact your HR person for this. And then also, I have this guy that does my retirement.
Yeah.
It's all through, you call me and I can handle basically anything for you.
One place.
And I like being that person when somebody calls me with a problem or a question. I love that. I'm sure you get that too. It's like, oh man, they came to me because
I know I can answer this.
Yeah, exactly. I know the answer to the question, and so it's really fun to be able to help them and walk them through their journey as a small business owner.
Well, and I find that completely valuable, being able to have one person that I call for everything, you know? And I've tried to find people that are that way, to where I know, you know, I have a guy who handles pretty much all tangible products. Austin Hollingshead with Atlas Graphics. He was on my last podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
I know if I need business cards or signs or banners or anything, I call him and say, hey, who do you know that can get this done? And then I go through him and he helps me. And that just takes time off of, maybe I could go find somebody and do it cheaper or something, but I don't really care. You know, I want to give him a project and have him take care of it and just be done with it, you know?
100%.
So that's valuable, especially for maybe bigger companies and busier business people.
Absolutely.
So
and I'm sure that's kind of how it is for you as a real estate agent. That's the advantage of a real estate agent is I don't have to deal with the contractor to fix the house.
That's how I am for everybody else. Yep.
It's an awesome place to be in because you know you bring a lot of value to them. So
and a lot of it is just the people that you know, which comes back to the network is so important, which is good for me because having somebody like Mark, he's got relationships with all these people. So if I don't know, I text him and ask him, hey, who do you use for windows, you know, or you know, roofers or whatever, and I can get that experience grandfathered in for myself, which is nice. So
absolutely.
Okay, cool. So one-stop shop for all that. Now, do you handle you're just in sales, I'm assuming. Have you learned any of the other aspects, or will you be responsible for that at all? Or
do you mean like actually running the payrolls and stuff like that? That's all automated. That's they log in to their system, put in the hours, or if they have a timekeeping software like a clock in, clock out software, it imports, and then they just make sure everything looks good and hit run. Once I become more of a support role after the initial, sale. Yeah. So if they have a problem, hopefully they don't. If they have a problem, they can call me. And then I also have opportunities for, cross-selling, upselling opportunities. We do a lot of other stuff like I was just saying. So if they decide to do just payroll at the beginning and then they want to add stuff, it's very simple.
Like HR if they're growing.
Exactly. They're growing. Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice that way. And then, of course, I'm not calling them every day saying, hey, you need this and this and this. But once they see our technology, they realize, okay, this is legit. Yeah. We're gonna grow our business through this company.
Yeah.
So.
And that's exciting too, even from a networking perspective for you. I mean, you are building relationships with business owners and you may get to help them grow from a few employees and watch their journey as they grow and grow and grow.
Absolutely.
And it really is. I had somebody, on Instagram, you get all these DMs on your posts or whatever, collab, DM this page or whatever. Yeah. And I had one of those pages that said, I think the page was called What's Your Hustle or something like that. And they commented on my thing and they said, great page, Michael, what's your hustle? Or if you had to sum it all up, what's your hustle? And I just said, building relationships with a heart. And I was like, that's all it is, really. I mean, I should have pinned that comment just so people could see I'm all esoteric with my response. But it really is just building relationships, man. And the more relationships you're building with those people, the more you can see, hey, I have something else that may be able to help you, or down the road, let me help you with this. And that's cool. That's really cool.
The name of the game is referrals in pretty much any sales oriented job. So all small business owners, no small business owners. I mean, everybody knows that.
That's
so
true, yeah.
there's no better way than them walking up to their friend and saying, hey, we got this awesome software that helped us grow and hire people and this and that. And then they give me a call, and it's a done deal at that point. So I'm still working on that, but the deals don't walk to me like I would like them to, but we're still working at it. We're still working at it.
So has it been, I mean, have you ever done any commission jobs before this, or is this your first sales position?
I had never done a commission job before, and that's been a learning experience all of its own. So it's salary plus commission, so I'm not relying solely on commission, but
that's good.
Commission only would be a little intense for me without ever having wored a commission job before.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's an adjustment, even with salary plus commission. I'm sure it's been, how's that transition been? You feel like I know you've worked hard and been able to make do for yourself.
Yeah. It's been a challenge like I've never had in any other job. Obviously, I think you guys have talked about this on the podcast before, but you get out what you put in, and that's never more true than a sales job. And it's been, at the beginning, I thought, I'm just going to like build all these relationships and I'm just going to have fun and sell everything. And then I thought, as I went on, I was like, this is hard.
Maybe not
this
quite
is
how it
so
goes.
Hard. This is crazy hard. I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall here trying to get anything done. And so it's been a crazy learning experience from day one, moving into, I'm going into month 5 here. And it's been a challenge, but I've loved every second of it. Definitely.
That's awesome. That's good. So, okay, having said that then, if you had to go back and talk to Jake McClelland 5 months ago and give yourself beginner sales advice, what would you say? What are some things that you would?
I love this question. It's so interesting to answer. I would definitely say, it's a tough one. You got to really rack your brain. I would say I would go back and just tell myself you don't have to know everything before you start reaching out to people. It's something that I got caught up in a lot. I love to know everything there is to know about whatever I'm doing. But in this job, there's so much to know. You can be 5 years in and still not know everything, just like real estate. So I just had to say, just pick up the phone and dial. If someone asks you a question that you don't know, you tell them you don't know. You tell them, hey, I'll figure that out for you. Or if they, call you on something that you said and you just look like an idiot, that's a learning experience right there. I mean, there's no better way to learn than just fall flat on your face. Because you will learn real quick.
It's embarrassing to do that, and it stinks. And if you may lose the sale if they ask you a question and you lose that rapport with them. But you're better for next time. And in reality, that's the only way that you're gonna learn. I love that advice, really.
And I was so scared, like you just said, to lose the opportunities that I may be able to close. Like I could probably close, I don't want to say 90%, maybe like 60% of the ones that I missed at the beginning. I feel like I could close now, but I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't just picked up the phone.
Experience.
So it's a win-lose situation there. But you just got to dive in. And that's what everyone told me. I didn't take the advice fast enough, but now I'm at the point where I'm just not scared to call anyone. I'll figure it out. If I look like an idiot, so be it.
It is what it is. That's the thing.
Hopefully
at
they
the
forget.
End, what does that really cost you? Maybe a little bit of your pride. I mean, you're paying for education. No matter what education you're paying, by being embarrassed or by maybe losing 100%. Some business, you're paying to have that future confidence that you can answer questions.
Absolutely.
And it's really. You said you wish you'd have learned it a little bit quicker, but man, I know some people who've been in the business for years and years, and they still don't know that. Man, I'm not sure why I'm so
raspy there.
Excuse me.
I'm having the same problem over here.
I switched monsters
the monster
to
probably doesn't help with
the
that.
Mango Loco rather than the regular. So in the future, we need to do the regular.
Fair enough.
Throwing you off big time for sure.
I have my routine. But no, that's all I'm saying is, there's people who still haven't learned that you just got to jump in and do it. And sometimes you have to learn as you go. I would say I've never really, if anybody asked me for like sales advice for my past self, that's not the first thing that would come to mind, but that's great advice because I've struggled with that. And again, I still struggle to that to some degree. Obviously in different areas than before, but
Right.
in sales, you're always learning, and in big industries like we're in,
Definitely.
you know, there's always new stuff to learn, but just jumping in and making the mistakes. And
I've
then,
learned way more
Mhm.
making a fool of myself than I
Yep.
have in any training that I've been on.
That's
As-
one way to learn quick. Talking
Yeah.
about pride.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You hang up the phone and you think, what did I just say?
Yep.
Like, where did that come from?
Yep.
I've done that so many
I
times.
identify with that so
Yes.
much.
seriously.
So
And
much.
I think
Seriously.
everyone can. And you got to hype yourself up every day.
Mhm.
I'm making these calls. This person, like, what's the worst that could possibly happen? You just have to put that in your head.
Yeah.
And then also on the flip side, what's the best that could happen? I
Yeah.
could close the deal right now.
Yeah,
Like, this person could be
exactly.
my next customer
Exactly.
or my next client, and
And
then
once
that
you-
gets you going to
That's
make
the
the
thing.
call.
And once you have that client and that money in the bank, then you're going to look back and be like, why was I so scared to make that
Exactly.
call? I know this
Yeah.
person. They're super cool, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Super cool is not the most professional term. Yo, they're
Hey.
super cool. But no, that's the thing is looking back on times when I was so scared to reach out to certain people, it's almost laughable that I was so concerned. But even now, when I have to call somebody new that I've not introduced myself to, there's still that little twinge of, you know, you
Oh,
get a
yeah.
little bit of butterfly in your
Butterflies.
stomach. Yeah. But in reality, like you said, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, the worst that can happen is maybe they cuss you out and hang up on you. Well,
And it happens.
that sucks. It does
Yeah.
happen. Yes, it does. But in reality, you didn't know them before. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not going to remember who you are, truthfully.
Yep.
And, you know,
It's a net neutral.
it's
Yeah.
a
You're
net
just back to
neutral.
square
That's
one.
exactly right.
It's as
yeah.
if the call never
great
even
term.
happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a guy that I follow on Instagram, and he, I forget the exact dollar amounts, but it was basically if you had, you know, $3,000 and somebody came and took $10 from you, would you scream and cry about the $10 that you got taken away? Well, probably not. It's a pretty small amount compared to what you have. And that's what you're doing. If somebody robs a minute of your time and you're on the phone with them and they make you sad or whatever, they make you feel
Yeah, yeah.
unimportant or like they don't care about you, really, that's just a small amount of time and however many minutes are in a day. And why would you let that bother you?
Yeah,
Just,
gotta
you
look
know,
at the bigger
just move
picture.
on. Look at the
Yep.
bigger picture. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right. So having said all of that, then I would like to move into a couple more questions. First of all, what do you do with your free time? You're here in Pensacola, not in Ohio anymore, so you can't go to a bunch of corn mazes and all this stuff, probably.
That's right. That's right, man.
What do you
Ohio
do
is
for
one
fun?
big corn maze
Yeah,
in some areas. Definitely. So yeah, I love to run. I'm a big runner. I haven't been doing
you're
as
one of
much.
those.
Yeah, I got my running watch on here. But yeah, I read a book a long time ago. It was called Born to Run. I don't know if you've ever heard of that
I've
before.
heard of it, yeah, but I've not read it.
It's about this tribe, and we're gonna get into some like real weird stuff here. I don't want to get too far into it. It's about this tribe that basically runs for a living. They hunt by running. They chase their prey until it can't run anymore.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like, it's really crazy, but it tells about some of the things that they do to push their bodies to the next level. And I read that, and it changed the way I thought about running a little bit. And I already loved it before, but
As a soccer player, yeah.
yeah, as a soccer player, I was running all the time, but it changed the way I think about it. And it's not even like a hobby anymore. It's something that I feel like I have to do. I just love it. I love
Really?
going
That's
out and doing it.
interesting.
It's a blast. I know not everybody loves running.
Well, I should
but
probably read that
No.
book, though.
It's
It sounds
good,
like that's a
man. It's
good,
very good.
transition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or a good switch to flip in your brain.
absolutely. Yeah.
What are some of the things that they do to condition their bodies?
Basically, it's all about technique and form. And if you think about any other sport, soccer, basketball, baseball, there's a right way to do it, and everybody teaches that same way.
Yep.
But there's also a very wrong ways to do it. And it's the same way with running. You have to think about it as there's a right way to run and a wrong way to run. And if you
Interesting.
don't ever run the right way, you'll hate it. But as soon as you start running the right way, it clicks. It, like you were just saying, it flips a switch.
Wow.
And you can feel it. Like, you can feel yourself like, I'm doing this. This is how running is supposed to feel.
Wow.
And I know that sounds super deep.
No, that's
but
cool.
It's awesome.
It
And you
makes
can
sense.
you can actually feel yourself going faster, longer, feeling better after you're done.
I love it. I want to read this
And
book.
Yeah,
I
Born to
gotta
Run,
get it
right?
to you guys
Born to
because it's incredible. I had it on audiobook, and I listened to it while I ran. So
Yeah,
it was perfect.
okay,
It was
cool.
awesome.
That's cool. That's a good way to implement.
Yeah.
We
Definitely.
have a couple of friends who they enjoy running, and they've invited us to do a 7-mile run next April.
Yeah, 10K.
Okay.
And I said, of course, like, yeah, I would love to do that. So now we're trying to not
slowly
training
get back into it.
Saying that we're training for it is really not true.
Yeah.
I try and run a mile if whenever we go to the gym if I can.
We're starting out with like high intensity interval training and then merging
Just to
back
get-
into running.
yeah, get back
'cause
to
we've
the-
been so out of it.
Exactly.
Definitely.
But having said that, that's something that would be useful for sure. Because I don't want to show up and then get outrun by a married couple. That would just be lame. So.
Yeah, you gotta swallow your pride on that one.
Yep. I'm not gonna swallow my pride. I'm gonna outrun them.
Right, exactly.
So
exactly.
okay, so you enjoy running.
Great
I'm
book.
sure. Do you spend much time at the beach? Or you? I'm not lately because of the bridge, but
Yeah, no, I'm not a big beach goer.
Okay.
My fiance's here in town still, and
Spending time
she
with
loves
her.
the beach, so I spend time with her a lot. We haven't been to the beach much this semester. She's in
Same.
nursing school, so she's crazy
Oh yeah.
busy. But yeah, I love spending time with her. I have a dog now. I adopted a dog not too long
Very
ago.
how long
nice.
ago was this?
That was I've had her about a month now, I think.
Okay.
Well,
And
congrats.
I just
That's a
I could
big
just
move.
sit there and watch
is
her
a
walk
big
around,
move.
and I'd love it. It's
That's
so
awesome.
But yeah, I take her to the dog park every now and then.
Okay.
That helps me stay active too,
Yeah,
like in a
yeah.
different way than just running.
Yeah.
What kind of
but,
dog did you get?
She, I don't know what she is. She's a dachshund and something. She was just a mutt. They found her and her siblings just on the side of the road. So
Oh.
yeah, it was real sad. But
Well, good for you.
she's
Yeah,
warmed
good for
up
you
to
for
me.
rescuing.
She's
Yeah.
warmed up to me a lot, and she was real nervous at the beginning.
I'm
but
sure.
I mean, all those dogs need is just somebody to just give them a
Yeah.
little bit of
Mhm.
love. It's
Yeah.
not hard. Like I don't do anything special. You just pet them, feed them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Just hang
And
out
And
with
they
him
love
every
you.
once in a while.
Yep,
Yeah.
unconditionally. So,
Wow, man, Jake's got a
Yeah.
dog. That's crazy.
I know, big moves.
Yeah, big moves.
here, definitely.
Getting ready for that family.
That's
So,
right,
Okay,
that's right.
cool.
Yeah,
So time at the dog park and
with my
running.
fiance
Yeah.
running. Yeah,
Cool.
everything.
Okay.
My fiance doesn't run with me. She's not a runner.
That's fair.
I've tried, and
That's
That's
okay.
fair.
It
Not
is
everyone
what it
is.
is.
Not
Nope.
everyone is. I
There's-
definitely enjoy it more than Danny does.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate
But my
it.
roommate enjoys it more than I do. You know
Uh-huh.
Ethan, him.
yeah, yeah,
And if I go with him, he's 100 yards ahead of me, and we're 30 seconds. Like immediately, he's just gone.
yeah.
And I'm like, you told me you wanted to run with me, and
Yeah.
you're not running with me. You're
They're-
running, and I'm running.
Yeah, you happen to be running at the same time. That doesn't count. Yeah.
Oh man.
There are levels though, man, and
Yeah.
and running especially. I mean, and there's something interesting in that book that kind of ties into what we were just talking about. It's not necessarily a young man's game. People that run when in their 40s, they can outrun me all day long because if you're doing it the right way, you're just getting better and better at it.
Sure.
Very nice.
Yeah, that makes
There's
sense.
a quote from the book that says, how does it go? It basically says you don't get old because you run, you get old because you stop running. I think is the way
It makes
that
sense.
it's not the exact verbiage,
Right,
but
yeah.
you get the idea.
Yeah.
These guys that are 50, 60 years old, they still haven't peaked as far as their speed and their running. And it's crazy how they can do that. So
Wow.
yeah, it's something to think about. Definitely,
it
I think
is.
you guys should definitely check it out.
I promise you I will
excited
check
to
it out at some
introduce
point.
two new
Yeah.
people to
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, that's
to
cool.
the book.
That's how
Yeah.
I feel about like if I start doing something and I really enjoy it, I'm like, who can I get into
Yeah.
this?
Other people,
Yeah,
come do what I'm
yeah,
doing.
It
It's fun.
validates how I feel.
Exactly.
So, oh, that's cool. So, okay, we were talking also before we hit record. One thing that we forgot to ask Derek, but that we try and ask everybody is, what's your favorite place to eat? What's your favorite restaurant in Pensacola, so we can experience new places and new things.
Gotcha. Yeah. The big one that pops into my mind first is Sushi Masa. I don't know if you guys
Yes.
are sushi people.
Mhm.
I wasn't until I met Hannah, my fiance, and she kind of got me into the, I'd say, entry level sushi. It's not like raw fish
Beginner.
or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little more adventurous now, but I love sushi, and they have the
Really?
all you can eat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm with
there,
you
and
there. I'm
it's-
just now starting to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I'm not quite there yet,
it's
but
weird.
I'm sure it'll happen
I don't know.
eventually.
As a kid, I would be
Yeah.
repulsed by the thought
Yep.
of eating
Yep.
sushi, even just like not even raw sushi, like just any
just
kind.
any sushi. So.
All right. Well, Jake, I love hearing about all that, hearing about what you're up to and, kind of getting your start in sales and learning a new industry. And we'll have to have you back on soon to catch up with you and hear how things are going after that 5-6 month mark.
That's right. I'll let you know how it goes
awesome.
On the downhill, like you were saying.
yeah, for sure. Hopefully pick up some speed and momentum and make things happen.
Definitely.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate you, Jake.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.